Welcome back to Bloomberg Television. I'm Mark Crumpton at Bloomberg World Headquarters in New York. You are looking at live pictures from St. Peter's Square in Rome, where the throng that had been assembled on a rainy and raw evening in Rome now excited at the prospect of meeting their new pope, the new head of the Roman Catholic Church. The white smoke has been billowing for the past few minutes from that chimney atop the Sistine Chapel. The bells have been ringing, signaling that a new pope, a successor to Benedict XVI, has in fact been elected. Bloomberg's economics editor Michael McKee joins me now here in studio. And Michael, the historic significance of this obviously cannot be understated, but as you have been telling us for the past couple of weeks, there's going to be some humongous issues that the new pope is going to have to deal with, not the least of which how the Curia deals with some of its finances.
Well, that's one of the fascinating questions about how the politics of this all evolved, because the church is in trouble financially. It has been for a while, but we have seen even more problems lately and scandals within the Vatican Bank, things that the new pope might have to deal with. Now, the last time they chose a pope 7 years ago, Benedict was the former Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, who was in charge of the theological office of the church, the person who carried out the task of figuring out what Catholicism should be. In this case, there are some questions about whether or not they wanted to get somebody who was more a business person, more of somebody who could run the organization and get the right people in place to clean up some of the problems. Now, on top of the financial problems, they have the sex scandal problems, and that's also something that the new pope is going to have to deal with.
And Michael, it was interesting, some of the people I've been interviewing over the past couple of days, Chester Gillis among them, the professor of theology at Georgetown University, he likened this to picking a CEO. At some point, you have to at least run the business, but then there's also the task of making the faithful adhere to the dictates of the church.
And again, it brings up interesting questions as to who has been chosen, because the church is so diverse right now. Only 24% of Roman Catholics are living in Europe, although the majority of the cardinals voting were from Europe. The church is spread all over the world, and in the third world, in Latin America, in Africa, those are its fastest growing areas. And one of the questions is, did they reach out to somebody from one of those areas? We'll find out very shortly. But as to the CEO aspect of it, Cardinal Ratzinger, when he was selected as Benedict XVI, he was somebody who didn't really want to deal with that. He wanted to be engaged in studies, and of course the Vatican Curia is a bureaucracy like any other, and he wasn't very enthusiastic about getting his hands dirty with separating some of the rival factions in there. And so someone who is a strong manager might have appealed to the cardinals. Now, it did, at least we know from the timing of this, it took us about 5 ballots, so it wasn't as quickly as when Cardinal Ratzinger was chosen, but this may have been one of the things that they were looking at.